Okay, good morning, everyone. We will go ahead and get started. One last time, I'm going to put the sign-in sheet into the chat. So if you have not signed in, please do so. We will also put the agenda in the chat as well. And there you go. The agenda is now in the chat. I think we are ready to get started. So we will start with introductions. My name is Kim Baldry. I am the Associate Director for Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities for the Champaign County Mental Health and Developmental Disabilities Boards. Thank you all for joining us.
I'll go next. I'm Leon Bryson, Associate Director for Mental Health and Substance Use Disorders.
And I am Chris Wilson. I'm the financial manager for the Champaign County Mental Health and Developmental Disabilities Boards.
Good morning. My name is Chandra Somerville, and I'm the Cultural and Linguistic Competence Coordinator for Champaign County Mental Health Board and Developmental Disabilities Boards.
Thank you. As we go through this, we will go through it as you would work through your quarterly reports. And after each small section, we will allow time for questions. So please, if you have a question, just raise your hand or just unmute yourself and ask, or you can drop a question in the chat, and we will be monitoring that as we go through. So we're going to begin by, you have already logged into your agency page in our online system, as you can see on the screen. And once you get in there, okay, sorry, it's taken a little bit of time for my control to work here. If you scroll down from your agency page, you'll see first we have a just some information and how to contact each of us. Then we have more information, and down at the bottom we have downloadable files. Here you'll find some important things to just kind of help you as you navigate the contract year with the Champaign County Developmental Disabilities Board or the Champaign County Mental Health Board. Here you will see the important dates for the CCDDB and the important dates for the CCMHB. And I can show you that, although I don't see it at the top here, so that's okay. That is a list that gives you kind of a timeline of everything that the boards and board staff do, but it also includes our meeting dates as well as, thank you, Chris, as well as when reports are due. One thing very important to note for program year 2026 is that there is a change in the due date for your quarterly reports. Instead of Fridays, quarterly reports are due on the last Wednesday following the end of the quarter. Okay. Can I have control back? Oh, there we go. Thank you, Chris. All right. Another thing that is important to know in this list of downloadable files is instructions for completing required reports. That is a much more detailed list of instructions than what we're going to provide you today. It has glossaries and all of the things that you might need to complete the quarterly reports. We won't get into that much detail today. Okay. And then finally, we have the request for extension of report deadline. And if you know you are not going to be able to get your reports in on time, please fill out this form and send it to Stephanie and either myself or Leon so that we are aware that your reports are going to be late. And please send this prior to the deadline. Do not wait until your reports are late to send this. Get this in as early as you know that you can't get your reports completed. Okay, so after you've seen all of this, Then you can come over here to the left-hand side and you'll see quarterly reports. You click that tab and it brings you to your quarterly reports page. Again, we have some important downloadable files here. We have the request for the extension deadline. We feel very strongly about that. And then we also have the instructions for completing your required reports. If you, oops, not if you scroll down, if you look right here under the required reports heading, you will see this graph that shows you which reports are due each quarter. So you can see your program report and your revenue report. Those are all due every quarter, as well as your expense report. Down here, we're showing you the performance outcome report. That is only due during the fourth quarter. And then your cultural and linguistic competence report, second quarter and fourth quarter. Any questions about what I've gone over so far about how to get the downloadable documents or report due dates or anything like that? Oh, Laura, are you still having problems with the volume? No, okay. The fourth quarter reports are due. We do give you an extra month for fourth quarter reports. So those will be due the last Wednesday of August of 2026. So, all right. Any other questions? Okay, I will turn it over to Leon.
Good morning, everyone. Let me make sure I have control here. Hopefully, everyone can hear me. I don't have control yet. There we go. First of all, I want to say thank you all for submitting your reports on time. Everyone on here, I know most of you on here, and you do an excellent job with getting your reports in. So thank you kindly for that. The first step, I'm just going to do a truncated version of what your reports should look like. So if you have any questions, stop me at any point in time. For the sake of our training today, we're going to use the DD board as the first parameter. So when you're creating your report, you want to be sure that you're selecting the appropriate board and fiscal year. So if you are on the DDB side, then you want to obviously click on that. But if you're on the MH side, then you'll want to click on the mental health board. All right. To change the past fiscal year, you want to make sure you check yes. That will allow any year to be shown, and the system will automatically reset, which is what it has done now. So I hit the yes button, and if I click on the correct fiscal year, it's 2026. But if you want to look at a prior year, you have to first click on allow any year, and then you click on whatever year you're interested in. And so for the sake of what we're doing, we're in 2026. So now what we're going to do is we're going to begin creating a report. Many of you have done this already, so it might be just a rehash, but I want to take you through it real quick. The first thing you want to do is you want to hit the create button. Again, you want to make sure you select the correct program. Several of us on here or several agencies have multiple programs, so it's going to be very important that you click the right program. And for us today, it's going to be 2026 test program and the correct period. We're going to go with the first quarter. Next, what you want to do is you want to hit the create button. And you're going to see a new window here. What's going to be key here is that you want to constantly hit your save my responses. So anytime, if If you got 10, 15 minutes that you can only use to get some of your report done, you want to make sure you hit your save button and not submit, because if you hit your submit button, then now you are telling us that you're done with your report and you're locked out of your report, which now means you have to go back to us and say, hey, can you open the report? I'm not done. So I would strongly encourage you to hit the save my responses. All righty. So next, we're going to take a look at the annual targets. The annual targets are the targets that you wrote in your application. And so these numbers are going to come from your application. The first one we have here, and I'm just going to put in some random numbers, is your community service events. These are program presentations. These are public presentations, parent meetings. The whole point of the community service event is to promote, to educate your core audience about your program. So for the sake of what we're doing, I'm just going to put in some simple numbers. 5 is the number. I'm sorry, service screening or contacts, we call them SCs. These are going to be your successful phone calls, your screenings, your assessments, successful numbers. So for the sake of this, we're going to put in 100. Your non-treatment plan clients, we're going to put in 200 here. Non-treatment plan clients are clients with case records, but no treatment plan. That's why they're called non-treatment plan clients. So these are the ones that it may be a sibling, or it may be an uncle that's related to the treatment plan client that you're having some sort of interaction with. You want to capture that in your data. So for the sake of this here, we're going to go, our annual target is 200 non-treatment plan clients. Most important for many of us are the treatment plan clients. These are the individuals that have a service plan or a treatment plan. So in addition to their case records, these are the individuals that you're going to spend a lot of your time during the fiscal year servicing. So for this box, we're going to just enter the number 30. And other, we'll put in the number 50, and other just simply represents, it could be contact hours, it could be discharges, it could be intakes, things you want us to know about. All right. You also want to utilize the comment box here. And this is just for unexpected findings or service details you want us to know about as it relates to the other category, or just what's going on in your program. I really appreciate these when you fill out this section, because it gives me a better view of what's going on with the program. So myself, Lynn, Kim, Chandra, maybe even Chris will take a look at this box, and it just gives us a clearer picture. So now we have our targets, and the next step is the quarterly data. So that's, who you're serving, all new clients for that previous year, or previous quarter, I'm sorry. So for the sake of what we're doing, I'm going to enter the number 2. So what we're saying is you've had 2 community service activities here for that quarter. Screening, SCs, 25 new SCs for the quarter. Again, this is just quarterly data only. Non-treatment plan, we're going to say 45. 10 treatment plan clients and 10 others. So what we're saying is we've just served 2 out of the 5 for the annual year, which is, if you think about it, we have 4 quarters. And so if you're already at 2 and you have to hit your target is 5, you're basically halfway there. Your CSEs, you're on schedule because you're serving 25 and the target is 100 and so on. When we get down here to the continuing from last year, this is only for quarter 1. So what this simply means, continuing non-treatment plan clients are clients that are carried over from the previous year that you're serving in this quarter. So what's happening here is you can only count them once, one time. So in this case, what we're saying is we've had 30 that we've worked with for the year that we are still servicing in this new quarter. We cannot count, we can only count them once. So what if you've counted them in the previous fiscal year and they're rolling over, you cannot count them as a new non-treatment plan client. 15 here and 5 here. And so all of these are just rollovers. Any questions, concerns about that? All right. Let's see. Again, I told you all to save your responses and I didn't. Now they're saved. And I'm done because I'm satisfied with this report. So I'm going to hit the submit my report. Now, once I do that, can't make any additional edits. And it'll ask me, are you sure you want to do this? Absolutely. All right, so we're done with that. We're done with the quarterly program activity consumer service report. The next step, what we want to do is, and you can also, just for those who are new to this, you can print this out if you want in a PDF. It looks similar to what we see on the screen here. And you can have that for your own records or you don't need to. So we're going to return to the quarterly reports, and now we're going to move on to the next one, which is the residency by zip code. And so all we're doing is we're going to scroll down. What's going to be important here is the treatment plan clients that you're reporting on. The treatment plan clients that you're reporting on, each of them must have a zip code. They must have a language that they, go by, a gender that they identify with. And so it all works together. So same steps here. We're going to create the report. You're going to select the program. You're going to select the period. And you're going to hit create. Again, you have the opportunity to save your responses. So with next to each zip code, you got to fill in the number of clients who engaged in the services during the report period. So for first quarter, you're going to report the number of continuing clients who were served during the most recent program year, and then also receive a service during the first quarter of the current year, along with the new clients. For the rest of the quarter, second, third, fourth quarters, you're only reporting new clients only. For many of the programs, the reports will include treatment plan clients only. So here we go. Nothing for Ludlow. I'll just enter 0. Urbana, I think we mentioned 0. And I'm just going down the list. Can anyone tell me how many treatment plan clients we served? You would have to remember the prior screen.
I think you had 10, Leon.
10? Okay. Well, I kind of wanted to see if anyone was catching that.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Because again, each of these, the treatment plan clients must connect. They must all have Let's save my responses. Let's see what happens here. So I should have 10 in here at the bottom if I did this correctly. There we are. We have 10 total clients. Again, you can enter comments if you have, if you see a zip code or if there isn't a zip code that's listed here. Certainly enter the number that's number of clients that you're serving that does not have that zip code. You can enter that number here, and you can also we ask that you include the zip code 6790. Let me see if I can put this in here. 67890 1, and you can add. Yes, thank you. Great question, Laura. So what we're doing is this is Champaign County clients only. We're only reporting Champaign County clients. If you are serving other clients and you want us to know about those clients, you can certainly enter that in the box here. Right? You can enter that in the box here. I'll just say 5 clients. Again, you want to save your responses. When you're done, you can hit submit. It'll ask you one last time, and here we are. And then the last report that I want to talk about here is your utilization demographics, which again connects to the other reports when you're referring to your treatment plan clients. Same steps here. You want to, okay, can you show them how to edit and how to edit? Let me see how to edit and save, but not submit a report. Yes. All right. So we are now in the utilization demographics report. Again, you want to select the program that you are reporting on. You want to select a period. And you want to hit the create button. So we had, if memory serves me correctly, we had 10 treatment plan clients that we are reporting on. Again, this is just for Champaign County residents only. Do not report demographics in language use, age, race, ethnicity, and gender columns that are not Champaign County residents. For the first quarter, you want to report the number of continuing clients who were served during the most recent program year, and then also received a service during the first quarter of the current year, along with the new clients. For the second, third, fourth quarters, you're only reporting on new clients for the program. So here I will just say, let's just go with 4. And we will say 6 individuals speak Spanish. Their ages, we will just say their ages are between, all of them are between the ages of 19 and 59. Of course, you may have clients you're serving that are much younger or older, and if that's the case, then you will put the number accordingly. Let me go back up here. I want to make sure I save my responses. Next, again, it's the same. You're utilizing the same numbers, so each person has identified themselves as one or the other, or African American, Asian, Asian American, and so forth. I think we had a total of. Let me go back. I think it was 6. 6 and 4. I guess that really doesn't matter. And then we go down to gender. And so again, you want to report only individuals that are Champaign County residents. In this case, we will say to identify as agender or identify as a man, and 6, identify as a woman. You want to save your responses here. So we have 10 total here. We should have 10 total here. And we should have a total of 10 here. Do we? Nope. We have 12. So that's something that we need to figure out. So you have to go back and make sure your numbers are correct. I think there were actually only 4 women instead of 6. Let's save our responses. We have a total of 10. We should have 10 in each category. Alrighty, so now we want to go back to our report and I want to submit this. Yes, we're done with this. Now, Kim mentioned something about editing a report. So you get back in here and you have the pencil icon which allows you to edit the report. Well, the problem is I need help. The report is locked out. I'm locked out. So I need somebody to open up the system to let me in. I cannot edit this report unless I have Leon, Kim, Chris, Chandra, Lynn open the report for us to allow you to edit the report. Questions, comments, thoughts?
Do you want us to respond to that, Leon?
Well, you can, or we can wait to the end. I'm done with my part. I can pass it over to Mr. Chris Wilson, who will handle the financial forms.
Okay. I can wait till the end.
So, Chris, if you are with us, you are up, sir.
All right, thank you, Leon. Okay, so I'm going to continue the training with everybody's favorite subject, financials. So Leon has just completed the utilization demographic report. So we're going to continue now. The next section here is the quarterly financial report section. And we're going to be working with 2 separate reports today. We're going to be working with the revenue report and we're going to be working with the expense report. So I want to start with my revenue report. And it's the similar process to creating the other reports that Leon showed you. So you go over here to this create button. I'm going to go ahead and click that. It's going to take me to this page with a couple of drop down I'm going to select my program that I want, and I'm going to select the period that I want. And for these, I'm going to select second quarter, and you will see why in just a few moments. Once I've selected everything, I'll go over here, hit this create button, and that is going to generate my revenue report. Now, let's say for a second I accidentally select the wrong program, or I select the wrong quarter, or I make a duplicate report, or I just want to get rid of this for whatever reason. All you have to do is go over here to this delete all responses button, click that. It's going to ask you, are you sure you want to delete this? You would click OK if you actually want to delete the form. In this case, I'm going to click cancel because I want to keep it. So now we're going to scroll down and we're going to see our actual report here. So I'm going to start by talking about the structure of this report. We have a nice table here, lots of columns and rows. So these first couple columns, these are our categories. Okay, so it goes from United Way, we've got contributions, special events, and fundraising. We've got all these different grants here that I have entered. We've got federal grants, state grants, local grants. This pulls from your application. So whatever grants you put in your application, the system will automatically fill this in for you. And this goes all the way down to category number 14, miscellaneous. This next column here says examples. So if you need a reminder of what a particular category is for, all you have to do is click examples, and this little box will pop up and it'll give you examples or a definition of what that category is for. This next column is the total agency year-to-date revenue. So that is every single penny that your agency has received up through the end of, in this case, it's the second quarter report. So it would be the second quarter. And you're going to put in where that money came from. So let's say I got $4,000 from my United Way. I did a fundraising event. I got $3,500. CCDDB gave me theirs. And I'm just going to enter in these numbers here just so we have something. And as Leon had stressed, as you're working on this report, you want to make sure that you save frequently. So I'm going to do that. If I don't hit the save button and I reload the page, or I navigate to another page, or my computer crashes, or my laptop battery dies, whatever happens, if I have not hit the save button, all of this work is gone. So make sure you're saving frequently. Okay. Once I've saved, I can actually go down to the very bottom of this report, and it's going to total up all these different columns for you. So obviously I haven't put anything in the other columns yet, but it's going to total up my total agency year-to-date revenue. I can see right here, 242.4. This very next column is total program revenue year-to-date, and that is, again, that's every penny that you've collected that's specifically for the program. And so what we define the program as is when you applied for funding, you said, here's my program name. Here's what we hope to accomplish. These are the steps that we're going to take. These are the actions that we're going to perform in order to accomplish that goal. And these are the things that it's going to take and what they're going to cost. So we view that as the program. For some of our smaller agencies, your program may be everything that your agency does. And if that's the case, then you're actually going to see that these two columns are going to be the same numbers every time. And that's totally okay. But if you are a larger agency or you have more than one program, then they would not be the same. So let's say in this example here, I received $4,000 from United Way, and I've allocated $1,750 for this program. So then I enter in $1,750. I like to think of these columns as kind of like a filter, getting more and more narrow as you go left to right. So I'm just going to continue entering in some figures here, just so we have some numbers to work with. And again, I'm going to hit save. And I can scroll down to the bottom now and I can see that I've got a nice number here next to my total program year to date. The very last column is total CCDDB year-to-date revenue. If you are a mental health board funded agency, then this will say CCMHB. So again, I'm going to enter in just a number here. I'm going to hit save my responses. I can scroll down to the bottom and I can see all the totals for each column. Now you'll notice next to each of these columns with text boxes, there's a red and yellow application column. And what that column is doing is that takes a look at the amount that you entered in your application when you applied for funding, and it prorates it based on the quarter that we're in. So in this particular example, in this report, we're dealing with the second quarter. So we would be halfway through the year. So the system is taking a look at the application, and the application actually says that I'm expecting $8,000 this year from United Way. So the system will then perform the calculation. It will prorate it. Okay, we're halfway through, so I should have received half of the funding. That is not always going to be the case. For example, let's say United Way, they gave us all 8,000 right off the hop. In this case, these numbers don't match, and that's totally okay. This is just meant to be a guide, just so you can keep track of how your agency is doing. So I'm going to save that. I'm happy with all of my work. I'm totally done with this. There's nothing else that I want to do. So now I'm going to hit the submit my responses. I'm not going to be able to change any of these numbers once I do that. So now I've submitted it. Everything's locked in. And I can move on to the next form. Are there any questions about the revenue report? Okay, I'm not seeing anything, so I'm going to keep going. And our second report here is the expense report. So I'm going to go over here, hit this create button, same process as all the other reports. I'm going to select my program. I'm going to select my quarter, and I'm going to hit the create button. And it's going to generate this form. And it's going to look very similar in structure to the revenue report that we just completed. So again, you can see it's a nice big table. There's lots of columns and rows. So the very first column here, these are your categories. These are your different expense categories, and it goes all the way from salaries and wages, payroll, taxes, benefits, all the way down to category number 19, depreciation. And again, we have these examples. So if you ever need a reminder of what a particular category is for, you just click examples and it gives you a definition and gives you some examples of items that you would charge to that particular category. So we have a very similar structure to the revenue report, starting with total agency year-to-date expenses. So whereas the revenue report was reporting every single penny of income that the agency earned, this report, you're going to be reporting every single penny of expense that your agency has expended through the end of the second quarter. So I'm just going to enter in some random numbers here just so we have something to work with. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to save that. And if I scroll to the bottom of this report, now I can see not only here are the numbers from my revenue report, but here are my numbers from the expense report. And it does a calculation. It lets you know if there's an excess or a deficit. So in this particular case, for the total agency column, this was my revenue, and these are my expenses, and that leads to an excess of $90,150. Next, we've got this total program column. And again, the program is what you defined when you applied for funding. Anything that you do outside of what you applied for is not considered part of the program, and you would not put the expenses associated with any activities outside of that scope. So again, I'm just going to enter in some numbers here. And I'm going to hit save my responses. And I can scroll down now and I can take a look and see, okay, so the program, I've received $96,000 in revenue, but I've spent 136. That's a deficit of 40,000. So I can see, okay, the program budget is looking a little scary right now. Very last column, that's total CCDDB year-to-date expenses. If you're a mental health board funded agency, that'll say CCMHB. And this column is the money that you receive from the CCDDB or the CCMHB, what you're spending that money specifically on. So that does not include any other sources of revenue, whereas these columns do. So again, I'm just going to enter in some numbers. And I'm going to hit save my responses. Now, something interesting is going to happen. And you can see we have a brand new column here. This is the reason that I selected the second quarter to do these reports. And I'm going to go back to the application home or the report home page. And I'm just going to go back to this table here of the required reports. And next to the expense report here, it says explain variances in second and fourth quarter. Okay, so that's why I created this second quarter report. I'm going to go back to my expense report. I'm going to hit the pencil to go in and keep working on it. So that's why these comment boxes appeared. Because in the second and fourth quarters, you're required to explain any variances between your report and where you should be based on the application. So again, we've got these application columns here. That's pulling numbers directly from your application, and it's saying this is where you should be at this point in the year. And if you're not, if you're 20% plus or minus with a minimum of $500 off of that, what the system is calculated, then it generates a text box, and it's expecting an explanation from you why there is this difference. So just to give you a couple of examples here, I'm actually going to change this real quick. So that we create some more comment boxes. All right, so I've got one here for equipment purchases. And the system is saying I should have spent $750 by now, but I've actually spent $1,300. Well, that's because I had budgeted for a computer. And I went out and I bought the computer for $1,300. So even though the system is saying I should have only spent $750, I actually spent $1,300. So a perfectly valid explanation would be laptop, computer purchased during quarter two. And then what you'll find is come fourth quarter, this is now $1,500 and you've come in under budget and it doesn't require this explanation anymore. All right, so if you pay up front for something that you budgeted throughout the year, you'll get a variance comment like this. Another thing that we often see is if your agency has a personnel vacancy. So obviously, if you have a vacancy, you're not paying somebody, so your salaries, your payroll taxes, your benefits, those personnel lines are going to come in under what you had budgeted. So a valid explanation for this salaries and wages line, I should have spent about 18,000 at this point in the year. I've only spent 12. Well, that's because there was a vacancy in the financial manager position for 7 weeks. And that's a perfectly valid explanation of why this expense has come in under what you had budgeted. So again, I'm going to save my responses so that I don't lose my work. So those are the types of explanations that we're looking for in these variance comments. I will tell you an explanation that is not valid is to say something like actuals came in less than budgeted. I mean, yes, that's true, but we're looking to get to the cause of that. What caused that to happen? Did you come in, let's say with your consumables and your office supplies, did you come in under budget because you actually served less people, so you had less of a need to use office supplies? You know, things like that. Those are important facts that we take into consideration and that we need to know about your operations. Okay, so once I've completed everything, I'm happy with this report. I'm going to go ahead and hit the submit button. And now everything is locked in. I can't make any more changes, but I can still come down here to the bottom and I can see all the totals for everything that I've entered now. And I can see where I am in comparison to where I budgeted. Are there any questions about this report? Okay, not seeing anything. So I am going to hand this over to Chandra Somerville. Chandra, you're up to bat.
Okay, hello everyone. So I am going to walk you through the cultural competency planning, your CLC plan reporting. And so one of the things that I want to make sure that you are aware about, while this is in the quarterly report form where you fill out the second quarter report that looks like this. This is based on the information that you have filled out from your application, the CLC plan that you submitted with your application. So I wanted to make sure that that was communicated clearly, because oftentimes what people don't realize is that you're actually reporting the progress on the particular areas that are within that application. So any of your training that you're having, how you are applying all of this to your governance and your workforce and leadership, how you are doing this assessments and evaluation of your services, and then also outlining your communication and language assistance that you provide to the people you serve, and then also how you work with engagement and continuous improvement and how you're accountable to make sure that that happens. And then the principal standard is, what are you doing to honor the families that you are serving, where they are in their culture and how they identify. Again, we want to get into the weeds of it and what you would put in here or how you would report about it. I'm actually happy to help you create language around that from your CLC plan. So feel free to reach out about that. So I'm going to go back to our quarterly report form. And when you go to start your quarterly report for the second quarter, because the CLC reporting is only required for the second quarter. So you will click on this downloadable file, which is second quarter CLC form. And then this second quarter will show up. Once you click that, this will show up. And then this is a fillable PDF, so you'll have the ability to do that. Make sure that you save that document actually on your computer. And then what you will do is go down to the Cultural and Linguistic Competence Program mid-year progress report, upload the completed document. What you will do is choose the file, and then those downloads, we're not gonna click on that today, but you'll click on the CLC document, and then you will click on uploading it. So I'm gonna go to the downloads and see. So that would be that. You would click on that second quarter form, upload CLC plan. It asks, are you sure you want to post this report? No edits are allowed once it's posted. Okay. And then you see file uploaded. And once you scroll down to cultural and linguistic competence template, you will see that this is the second quarter report that has been uploaded. Any questions about that before I go to the year end? Okay, so your fourth quarter will talk about all of the things that you have done. So, of course, you're going to go and click on create. And you're going to go to the period. And we're going to do second quarter just because fourth quarter is not available. And click on create. And what happens is your progress will be talked about in this particular part of the report. So where it says provide brochures in multiple languages within the first 6 months of the contract, responsibility is a CLC team, and then you provide French and Spanish brochures. So this is where you would actually say, we provided French and Spanish brochures, and you could even name how many organizations, or you can not say it. It just would depend on that could come out like in your site visit when I come and see, okay, well, where did you distribute them? But it's nice to know who actually got them. So the next part would be the governance, workforce, and leadership. This is connected to your training. Training will be offered monthly. Who's doing it? Satisfactory completed pre and post test. And so in this section, you could actually say 100% of the staff has had trauma-informed training. And I cannot spell today or type today. I'm going to just fix that real quick. And then I can also add the progress brochures. To the families. And then you would go back up to the top. And I think we have been talking about it. Make sure that you save, 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 save. So we're going to save what we've done. And then when you've looked down and you've saved your responses, you're going to scroll down and you'll see what was saved, and your progress is still in there. If you don't like what you did, you can either delete it and start all over, or you can submit your responses. This PDF document up here just gives you the ability to print the entire CLC plan in a PDF format. So once you get done with that, you will click on there. Are you sure you want to submit your responses? You click OK. And this report is submitted. Then you'll go back to your quarterly reports page. And then you have the ability to see, scrolling down, scrolling, that you have submitted both of these reports. Are there any other questions? Okay. I
Hey,
will go ahead.
hey, hey, Chandra, it's Brenda. Has that last quarter one changed, or have I just been doing it different? I
You've
mean, the
been
very
doing
last
it.
one.
Yeah, you've been doing it differently.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to know that.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
the reason that you're doing it differently is because of where you all started from. So one of the things about cultural competence is everybody is on their own journey, and it does not look the same for everyone. We've worked hard to do some uniformity, but we also know that there's some things that hadn't been as accessible to people. So this was our way today of trying to get everyone right at the same starting place. And Brenda, I can help you change it over so that you can be up to par if you'd like.
Okay. Well, we can work on that. I appreciate it.
Okay, no problem. Any other questions?
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. I believe who's next? Leon, does it go back to you?
It comes back to me.
Okay, Kim.
All right, so I am going to show you the final report, which is the performance outcome report that is due at the end of the fourth quarter when you're doing the rest of your fourth quarter reports. So you will scroll down. One thing I just want to show you real quick also is you can minimize this report tracking screen so that it makes your scrolling a little less. You don't have to scroll as much. So the performance outcome report is also an uploadable document. So when you're working on this, you scroll up to the top, you will see you have the performance outcome report template. And right above that is the performance outcome template report instructions. So if you have questions about that, you're just unclear, you can check those instructions as you're doing the report or before you're doing the report. So, So here is the performance outcome report template. As you see, it goes through several questions. The first couple are just yes and no. Then it goes on and you give us a little bit more detail. This information is what you all put into your funding application. So you should look back to your application and tell us what you told us you were going to do. And then how were you able to do that? Were you able to do what you said you were, or did you run into some hurdles and maybe you didn't get everything done? But it gives you the opportunity to tell us what your program accomplished. And if you weren't able to meet all of those goals, that's okay. Just tell us what happened and explain why. So you've completed this form, you've saved it, now you are ready to upload it. So you go back to the quarterly reports page. And again, that was all the way down here at the bottom. So you're going to follow the same process that Chandra did when she was working on that second quarter CLC report. So you're going to choose your file. And it's very small on my screen. I'm in denial that I might need reading glasses. There it is, performance outcome report. And I'm going to select that, and then I open it. And you can see that it has popped up right here. Okay, I'm ready to go. It's there. So I'm just going to upload that. And am I sure? Yes, I'm sure. Select OK. It does tell me that the file is uploaded. When I scroll down, I can confirm it is there. I'm done. I've got everything done. So now I know that all my reports are done. I can see my reports, although it does show some missing reports here. That's because Chris worked in the second quarter for his report. So if you notice the second quarter, it shows that it's missing the program report, the residency report, the utilization report. That's because Leon did those in the first quarter and Chris worked in the second quarter. So you can see that those are done. If you are doing your reports and you're like, I think I got everything done, a quick glance up here will tell you yes or no if you did get everything done. That concludes the portion of our presentation today. So we will open the floor up to any of you for questions or comments. And I'm going to mute myself if I can figure it out. Any questions about any of the information, any section of the quarterly reports that we covered today? A question in the comment, will the recording be shared with the attendees? Yes. Once we are finished with this presentation, we will add captions to the recording, and then we can share that with anyone that signed in on the sign-in form. So if you haven't done that, please make sure. I will also send an email that includes the full written quarterly reports instructions that I highlighted at the beginning. I will also include both of the CCDDB and CCMHB important dates documents. Those do change when we have a change in a meeting schedule or something along those lines. So it may change. It's important that you do check it regularly, but I will also send that as an attachment. And then I will send a link for program evaluation for you all to just kind of tell us what was good or what wasn't so good about this training. And then a really important question in that evaluation is, what further trainings would you like to see? So if you have anything on your mind, please let us know. Other questions? Okay. I do not see any. Thank you all for joining us today. If you do have further questions, just let us know. Our emails are all in the online system, so please reach out via email and we would be happy to answer those questions. If you do send an email about you need an extension or something, a question about how to complete a form, it is best to send to at least two of us, just because if somebody's off and doesn't check their email while they're out, you may not get a response, and it could be something that is time sensitive. We will do our best to respond to you as soon as possible. Thank you all for joining us. Have a good day.